Hello and welcome to another fun episode of the Action Toon Bros. I'm your host, Ben Sturgeon.
And I'm your host, Matthew Lewis.
And today, we are going to be talking about the next 4 episodes of Young Justice. Starting, of course, with episode 5, Schooled.
Yep.
So, this one starts off in Metropolis, where, as Metropolis always happens, some shenanigans go down where a bridge crossing a river decides to break down.
Yeah, a bridge crossing a river.
Or a lake or something. Anyway.
Yeah, bus on it. Yeah, typical Metropolis bus accident happens with a bunch of stuff going crazy. We see, first person we see is Bruce Wayne inside of an office building overlooking the bridge.
Yeah, and then he's like, he looks in typical Bruce fashion, goes to his desk and decides to get his uniform out.
Yeah, his Metropolis Batman outfit that he keeps, I guess.
But before he even has a chance to put it on, he hears a sonic boom as Matt's favorite decides to show up, Mr. Superman himself.
Yeah, Mr. Superman being awesome, just starts holding the bridge together, holding it down, being awesome. It was great.
And then Superboy decides to jump in, literally.
Yeah, tries to help, and of course just annoys Superman more with his mere presence, just to continue to annoy Superman. Poor Superboy.
And of course, in typical Bruce fashion, he decides to be a creeper and just watch the whole thing happen.
What's he gonna do? He's not gonna catch a bus.
he's got the tech for it.
Whatever.
But yeah, you're right. But you know, after a bit of Superboy lifting up cars and stuff, and Superman helping him out with the school bus, Superman decides to scold Superboy because you know, deadbeat father. And
I was about to say, it wasn't scolding him as much as being like, "You're still here."
Yeah, pretty much.
And Superboy being like, "Hey, you can teach me," and he's like, "I'm busy. I gotta go." And then we have Batman giving, you want to just call him Clark whenever I talk about Superman, but yeah, it's just like, hey man, we gotta talk about being a dad. You're really shitty at
it. But after all of that, we start right back up with the gang playing hollow air hockey.
Yeah, air hockey.
Yeah.
We had a table way back at our old house, and that game it's so much fun. The table.
Yeah. Oh, air hockey. Oh my god. Yeah, that game is fun. But yep. And as Aqualad loses the Kid Flash, how I don't know. All of a sudden, Superboy comes in as angsty and gruff as he can be, and just walks through the table. They're like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, he's just being a typical jerk to them. We meet Black Canary, who is going to give them fight training, which is always great.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, we get a little bit of a cameo from Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he stops by for a second and tells him, "She's going to be your fight teacher, bye."
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, Kid Flash, of course, keeps being a huge flirt jerk to Black Canary, and she just is, like, completely ignoring him, of course, as everyone should.
Right. While, as she's training Kid Flash and trying to teach them actual things, Superboy's like, "Dude, I'm a living weapon. Why do I need this? This is bull." And Black Canary's like, "Show me then."
Yep, and then, of course, she entirely whoops his butt, and he's really embarrassed and stomps off all upset.
But right before anything else could unfold, we get a call from Batman saying, "Hey, I got another mission for y'all."
Yep, and it is a Mazo built by Dr. Ivo. A design that is not nearly as cool as Amazo in Justice League Unlimited.
Oh my goodness, that Amazo was, well, for lack of better terms, amazing.
Yeah, you use damn puns. But yeah, he was really cool design, just an entirely sleek silver robot, and then he goes Super Saiyan at the end of that.
Yeah, he literally, he turns gold and then flies the universe because he's a god.
Yeah, but in this episode, this is like the typical design for him, this weird like green pants, elf ears man.
Yeah, it just literally looks like the Green Goblin, like Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, only buffer.
Yeah, of course.
But it is important to know when they're talking about this mission, Aqualad decides to bring up, "Wait a minute, Ivo's dead, isn't he?"
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever plays out.
Weirdly specific note that's like, yeah, that's very bizarre.
Don't know if it's ever played, but apparently they wanted to make it important.
Yeah,
so.
It was a very weird choice. But I was like, oh, that's odd. But then, that'll be important later.
Yeah, maybe.
And we get the mission, which is they're going to do pull a 3-card Monty with 4 trucks and all the different parts of Amazo split up.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And they're guarding them on motorbikes, following them, and splitting up into teams, with only one being the real Amazo truck.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, these never get effed up in the end. We get the Robin word. Did you get that?
Trust me, I have the Robin word. As they're all driving, their Robin word of the day is Aster, which is the opposite of disaster. Which, by the way, I looked up what Aster is. It's nothing like that.
Yeah,
It's literally a kind of flower of the daisy family, or it's a biological term about a radiating array of microtubules associated with the centrome. Oh, hey, I looked this up. Okay. Long story short, Robin needs to stop, but he won't. So but he won't. So get used to it.
It's gonna be a thing the whole series. Superboy still continues to be very butthurt about Canary whooping him, and I guess about his whole horrible dad issues with Superman being a huge jerk.
Right, and while Aqualad, because Magan's like, hey, what are we like? Why is he so upset and stuff like that? Aqualad's like, dude, he just really.
No. Hey, I'm using my phone for some reason.
But Aqualad's like, hey, he just needs to chill. Just give him some space. He'll be fine. But as that happens, you get the rejected heroes of Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce.
I was gonna say they look exactly like those.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they do.
Esoteric, yeah, it's such a weird choice. Those cyber monkeys were very, very lame, and of course we get the first time Superboy's like, "I hate monkeys," which is gonna be a running thing
because that's important.
it's gonna be a running thing for some reason.
But as the strange robot monkeys decide to go straight for the two trucks that have Amazo in it, and succeed in taking them, Superboy starts to leap in pursuit. But they're like, hey, we can help. The team's like, hey, we can help you. And Superboy's like, no. Takes off his comm and just keeps following.
Yep.
Like the big baby he is.
Yeah, following the weird monkeys with a weird laugh, cackle, monkey noise that's not nearly as frequent as Robin's, but still nearly as bad.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Well, again, starts beating the monkeys up with multiple arms.
Yeah, it freaks everyone out.
Yeah, freaks out the driver of the car even more than the monkeys did, and it freaks out freaks out Kid Flash too. That was a funny gag.
Actually, even freaks herself out.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, all of the two Amazo parts are flying away, and all of a sudden they're like, "What are we gonna do? We can't find Superboy." And Robin, in his usual fashion, hacks one of the monkeys and says, "Hey, found them," because apparently they have GPS on them.
Of course they do. That's when we get a cutaway to Bibbo's cafe with Batman trying to give Superman some advice on how to be a not shitty father. Bibbo is a reference to a comic character as a weird like sailor guy who, like, it's like the waiter looked like that kind of, but it was a esoteric and very, very minor Superman character named Bibbo. And this weird cafe is a reference to him. But yeah, he gives him advice about like, hey man, take care of Superboy. You like, don't be a jerk to him. And he's just like, I didn't choose this. And he puts on his hat and then walks away.
Yep. Typical Superman abomination. I do not want. Then we cut back to the mission where the monkeys are flying into a train, and Superboy pursues, and we finally get to see Ivo for the first time.
Yep, Dr. Ivo, and we find out that monkey is an acronym, a very long acronym that Ivo made up.
Did you actually?
I didn't write it down.
Good, neither did I. But after Superboy fights all those monkeys, he reveals that Amazo is complete again. And unlike the good Amazo, every single time this Amazo has to use someone's abilities, he has to be like, using Black Canary, using Superman, like some computer.
Batman. We never use Access Batman. Access the Flash. Access.
Nobody accesses Batman.
Yeah, why we wouldn't just stick with Superman, I have no idea. But sure, I guess he needs to scream at people occasionally as Black Canary.
Yeah, right. But then, of course, shenanigans ensue. Superboy gets his butt handed to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we find out in this episode, the trigger word for Superboy is Superman.
Yeah, of course. He just starts getting pissed off. And, Ivo assumes that he's Superman's kid.
Right.
He's just like, okay, you're really bad, that's why he doesn't talk about you, and that just pisses him off more, of course.
Of course, yeah.
We see that Robin attends some sort of private Gotham school that they crash into.
Is that actually Gotham Academy, or is that never said?
Gotham Academy, I believe.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, well, come up later in another episode, I think, yeah.
Right. Well, anyway, the fight escalates there, and Robin and Kid Flash make it there, while Superboy is still, the pissed off, I'm just gonna crush everything kind of thing. Well, in the brief moment as they're fighting, Amazo decides to go, oh, I'm gonna use Martian Manhunter and turn invisible, because an arrow goes straight to him.
Yep. And who could this mysterious Arrow person be?
Well, obviously it's Arrow.
Whoa, you spoiled Arrow. Just Arrow.
Green. Oh,
as in not Green Arrow.
Green Arrow.
But Arrow from the CW show Arrow.
Look, don't give me a lip. But yeah, obviously it's Green Arrow, but
Or Red Arrow, but that's the obvious choice. It has to be Red Arrow.
Yeah, of course. But after that little side thing that happens, because it literally happens briefly, they find Superboy finally gets smart for a change and starts attacking Ivo instead of Amazo.
Yeah, the weak human man who's just sitting there as opposed to the Superman-sized android
right.
fighting them.
And of course, more fighting ensues. Amazo tries to defend Ivo, and through phasing and then coming right back, gets a fist to the face and his head blows up.
Yep, and then after Ivo escapes, of course, they first mentioned, I don't know if it's the first mention or not, of Star Labs.
Yeah, this episode was the first time
mention
they...
of them? Yeah, they're going to come up with a couple times, and they're like a major staple in all DC Universe. Just that's who Superman goes to for tech and all kinds of stuff like that. And then we find out the souvenir for Kid Flash of this episode is the arrow.
The arrow, yep, souvenir. Mm-hmm. And of course, at the end, Martian Manhunter's like, yeah, I heard you had some complications. And Batman's like, complications come in a mission, but don't be afraid to call for help.
Yeah, and that's how the first episode ends.
Yep.
I was going to say, speaking of Amazo, do you remember a lot of the episodes of JLU? Of Justice Unlimited?
I remember some, yeah.
I was going to say, you do have a favorite one in particular, or?
Oh, man. With that one, it's actually very difficult because a lot of them are really good. But one of the ones that kind of hit me hard had to do with Solomon Grundy and his pretty much last episode.
Oh yeah,
man, that was a pretty heavy one.
His tie with Hawkgirl and stuff. That was a really good episode.
Oh my goodness!
I have to be the one with the Question teaming up with Huntress.
Ooh, that one's a good one too. Fantastic.
Yeah. That was really, really good.
It really was,
and then just like going up against what was it? Green Arrow and Canary also fought them a couple times.
That's right.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That episode's great.
Speaking of episodes,
okay,
this would be a good segue to go into episode 6, Infiltrator.
We open on Infinity Island, which I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. I read a lot of DC stuff, but like I don't know where this is supposed to be.
Yeah, one of the many locations.
Yeah, first time I heard of it. We see Roy doing a solo mission, trying to rescue some mean, sassy scientist who's researching what I thought was Blue Beetle. I was like, oh, like some kind of tiny
it
bug.
did kind of look like a scarab.
Yeah, I was like, this mean, sassy scientist voiced by Tara Strong, of course. Mm-hmm. She's going to voice a lot of extra characters in everything we watch because she's great. Let's see. Also, he rescues her. He gets her out the window, and we see some weirdos attacking some old man with huge mutton chops.
You forgot to mention that the weird man with mutton chops is evil Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, I'm about to say he looks like Iroh from Avatar as well. Yeah, this weird old mutton chop man, and this guy with a weird like Cyclops head laser thing, but not like the X-Men Cyclops, like a weird
like literally just one giant eye with a helmet on.
Yeah, weird giant singular eye man. They escape on a speedboat, and then we cut to the intro, and we meet the gang. And the very first line spoken to them, hello Megan. Of course.
And they're all going out to enjoy the beach on Mount Justice, except for Wally, because Wally has to be at school.
Yeah, was it summer school?
No, it was his first day of sophomore year.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Because like why wasn't half the other ones at school either? I guess Aqualad left school. Superboy doesn't have school. Megan doesn't have school.
And Robin is Robin.
In a private, but he's also in a private academy.
That is true.
I guess they probably didn't start yet. I guess is the point of that.
Right, it could have been later, but anyway. Wally returns and he's like, let's go party, as everyone's cuddled around meeting
Artemis,
the newest and is this the last recruit for the Young Justice?
The group changes up a lot later.
This is true, yes.
But a character I hadn't heard of when the show first aired, and I had to look it up, and that immediately spoiled who she is for me.
Oh, no.
I before the show had any idea who she was, I looked up, I was like, who is this character? And it was just like, Artemis is this very esoteric minor character, daughter of blank. I was like, oh, that was that spoiled it for me. But that was before the show even announced who she was, and I was just like, oh, okay, now I know.
Right? Yeah, this was the first time I've ever heard of Artemis. Then again, I really didn't keep up with Arrow.
Yeah. And a funny gag about Arrow, Speedy coming up to them and saying, "Hey guys, I did all this mission already. You guys suck, but she'll need protection."
His name's not Speedy. Yeah. He changes it to Red Arrow because that's original.
Yeah, and this is not going to be the last time he changes his name because he will get another one later down the line.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also found out that the villains are the League of Shadows. Now, I was like is this old mutton chop man supposed to be Ra's al Ghul?
That's what I thought as well. But then when I looked more, I'm like, nah, that's not him because he's young because of the Lazarus pit.
Yeah, and then also that guy looked a little bit more plump than Ra's al Ghul does. So
right,
like, and so out of shape.
So I thought for some reason in this it was Vandal Savage.
Oh God, no.
But but clearly, definitely not him as well.
Vandal Savage is one of my top villains, also. Even though like Legends of Tomorrow absolutely ruined the character with idiot writing on that show, but still,
yeah,
it's great. But yeah, the League of Shadows, and that was not Blue Beetle that she was researching, but nanobots that look like a weird fog cloud that hack computers.
Literally called the Fog.
Yeah, that's so weird. Flash is the other one who's like, who is this Artemis person? Where is she from? What is going on?
Constantly who are you? I guess that's the gag for the beginning of this episode is, who are you? But it's revealed that she's Green Arrow's niece.
Mm-hmm. Oh, supposedly. Dum dum dum. I'm spoiling the show. They immediately cut to them guarding the scientist lady in a facility, and like all their silly team drama keeps distracting her, and she keeps getting pissed off at them. It's hilarious.
Of all the time, she is literally the essence of constantly whining, no matter even if things are for her.
Yeah, she's just like, "Wow, you guys can't do your job. Oh, you guys are screwing up." She's just constantly berating them, and of course, Aqualad continues to be the chillest bro of the group,
right?
Being like, "Hey, best boy, everything's fine. Don't worry about that, man. It's all cool." And he's like, "God damn, you're so cool, Aqualad. You're so chill."
That was me at the time.
Yeah. Turn your phone off or your computer.
Anyway, so Aqualad's like, "Look, we need to find out where this is." And the doctor is like, "But if I do that, they'll be able to track me." Aqualad's like, "We're going to protect you. Come on now." So she actually tracks down where the fog is, which makes the League,
of course,
obviously able to.
Cut to Cheshire in the bushes looking at them.
Yep, good old Cheshire. And, of course, more team drama ensues, as well as Artemis openly flirting with Superboy.
Yeah, of course, she's just like, she's like, making yum yum noises at him. And everyone's just like, we can all hear you. And she's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, boy.
But as all that happens, Cheshire does infiltrate and starts attacking.
Yeah, she immediately defeats Kid Flash with some marbles, dumps him in a pool, and almost kills him.
Right? I didn't realize that a fall like that would have knocked him out because it was just it was literally the cartoon marbles on the floor.
They weren't explosive. They weren't remote controlled.
They were just metal marbles.
He just slipped, banged his head on the pool floor, and then she dumped him in the pool.
Yep, that's it.
And then while they're distracted, getting their butts confused, the Philadelphia Star Labs is destroyed. In the meantime, and they're like, "Oh, but we have to move her. We can't stay here anymore."
And so they do.
Yep.
And Cheshire, who was overrun the first time, decides to bring two friends with her.
Yep, one of them is an evil Spider-Man who I believe is Black Spider.
Black Spider, and the other guy is a big buff man with a hook for his hand.
Yeah, a very lame guy with a very lame hook.
Who I actually looked up. You know what his name is?
Hook, right?
Hook.
Yeah, of course.
It's just Hook.
Yeah, I've heard that character in other stuff. He sucks.
Yeah, right. Just two more obligatory side villains that are just like, here, you can just make cameos.
Yeah, and after the Philadelphia Star Lab, they find out that the next target is going to be Wayne Tech, which is very bad.
Oh, yeah.
Robin immediately almost drops about is it the space tower that he's worried about?
Either the tower or the Batcave.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then again, it could be literally anything because, as we learned in the first episode, Batman uses the same kind of thing.
Computer in the
same computer and all that.
Yeah, I assumed it was, but yeah, you're right. It probably more likely is to be the actual Batcave, which is much worse.
Right.
Let's see. Then Cheshire beats Aqualad and Artemis in a fight again because she's just that good, I guess.
And proceeds to go and kill the Doctor, which turns out to be Miss Martian, who's like, haha, fool you.
Yeah, of course. And we also get the Robin word of the day. You get it yet? It is... Hold on a sec.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was it?
It is outfiltrated.
Yep, there it is. Yep. The word of the day is outfiltrated.
It's very ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness.
But they managed to stop the fog eventually with Robin's hacking and the scientists hacking. And once Cheshire is on her way out, Artemis knocks her down, knocks off her mask, revealing that who she is. It's nobody to us because we don't know who she is, but Artemis freezes up and lets her go.
Just straight up lets her go. And they're
Absolutely
like,
crazy.
wait, what happened? She got away. Wait, her mask is here. Did you see her? It was dark.
Yeah, it was
and of course,
dark.
Kid Flash being a jerk to her,
Yeah, like,
obviously.
oh, good, nice going, even though he just got knocked out seconds ago.
Yeah, right. And, which, by the way, we have the Kid Flash souvenir of the day, which is Cheshire's mask.
Yep. And final scene is Artemis leaving the cave, and immediately Red Arrow, a.k.a. Speedy, a.k.a. another name later, is like, I know you're not his niece. Who are you? And then he's just like, leave me alone. He's like, I have my eye on you. And then he just ditches, because Yusel tells her that he's worried about his friends, which means he still cares about them.
Right, in a sense. But don't forget, evil Uncle Iroh decides to talk to the mysterious light group.
Yep, and we find out that they have a plant inside the Young Justice team.
Dun, dun, dun.
Who could it be? That was a pretty crazy episode, but pretty typical for them and their weird misadventures. Meet a lot of characters. Meet Artemis, meet Cheshire, who's going to be very recurring. I don't think Black Spider or that idiot.
No, I was going to say, those two I think are just side characters.
Let's see. Speaking of all those characters and all those connections, you've seen all the DC movies at this point, right?
I guess. Why?
I was gonna say, which one was your favorite out of those pickings?
You really want to know what my favorite one is? The most recent one, Shazam.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that one was amazing. It seems like starting with Wonder Woman, they actually started getting better.
Yeah, Aquaman was a fun, ridiculous adventure too.
Oh, yep, it was. But honestly, Shazam is probably my favorite one.
Oh yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to that Joker movie, and they just like...
Oh, the one with a Walking Phoenix in it?
Yeah, they just recently announced that there's not going to be like anything from any comics, and I was like, oh, what does that
mean? So it's going to be like original?
Well, I guess, conceptually, but we don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's true. But, moving along, we're on episode 7, Denial, which, so far, is my favorite, and I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
It starts off with... a mysterious golden helmet.
A 3D rendering of what anybody who's a DC fan would know as Dr. Fate's helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
A weird 3D rendering for some reason, the first time in the show, I think.
Yeah, and then we see the old man known as Nielsen. Nielsen walking into a medium shop.
Voiced by Ed Asner, who is Granny Goodness in Superman, which I just love, and also... the security guard from Freakazoid. He's been a ton of stuff. He's a huge actor.
See, I knew Granny Goodness, but the security guard? Hey, knock it off. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Ed Asner's a huge actor, though, but he's fantastic in that. But yeah, he's walking down the street and goes into a mysterious shop.
A mysterious, like, medium shop. And she does her whole... He's like, talk to my wife. And she's like, oh, I am your wife. And he just literally makes fun of her, pointing out every flaw she has.
Yeah, and how fake everything is, which is upsetting because Madame Xanadu is a real magic user in DC Comics and stuff.
That was Xanadu?
That was Madame Xanadu.
Oh, so wow. Yeah. I must have missed that.
Voiced by Cree Summer, huge voice actress who I absolutely love. But yeah, she's a fraud. But he also mentions, he like name drops like slightly like, oh, too bad you do have a potential for good magic, and like, oh well. And then of course immediately some sexy Spanish shirtless man, I don't know who it is yet, but
okay.
But he just pops up and disappears the man away somehow. And
just literally just poof, not smoke and mirrors, just poof, gone.
Yep.
And then weird. After that, the cane decides to float and mysteriously vanishes too.
Disappears away.
And then we get the opening. And then after the opening, we get, the whole gang, the Young Justice gang, just enjoying the day. Superboy and Aqualad are sparring. Megan and Artemis are shipping each other with people.
Yeah, they're trying to ship each other off with not Superboy because they're both after him, apparently.
And Wally is, sitting to the side, just eating because high metabolism and all that stuff. It's a typical normal day.
Oh, yeah. We see, they reveal the old man is Dr. Fate when the cane appears to them. I think it was Red Tornado who tells them who it is.
Yeah, Red Tornado comes in, which, by the way, I'm not making this up, viewers, because they call Dr. Fate the Sorcerer Supreme. Those are the literal terms. So Marvel, don't sue.
Oh, I don't know which one's first. Dr. Fate,
yeah, I know, right?
Sorcerer Supreme is probably some established term in wizarding communities or something at this point.
I really hope so.
They also name dropped the Justice Society, which was the original group with all the old people that we like, the original Green Lantern and the original Flash and all them, Jay Garrett and them.
Right, yeah.
With Wildcat, one of my favorite characters, who's like one of the best fighters in all of DC, had a really good episode in Justice League Unlimited.
Which, when talking about Dr. Fate, Wally's like, originally was starting with, oh, this is all science and science, But then, of course, Miss Martian's like, oh, I'd be really honored to meet this magic man. And Wally goes straight into impress mode.
Yeah, he immediately starts saying, oh, magic's great, sure. And then they begin the mission, which is to find out where he has been taken. It's one thing I interestingly note was that this is a plain clothes mission. They're all wearing they're not in their outfits, so they're all, oh, that's a weird choice. That's cool.
Well, I mean, they literally just need to go to the Tower of Fate and make sure he and the helmet are all right.
Yep. And this is when we see the introduction of Clarion the Witch Boy and his cat Tickle.
Yep. Which is also revealed, now we can say this, his henchman, who... His name is Abracadabra.
It's Abracadabra. You've seen him in Teen Titans.
It's been a while since I've seen the original Titans. So when I heard
he has like weird glasses, blue skin, a big nose, and he just like does all the magic tricks.
That's Abracadabra?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. I do know him, but still, I had forgotten about that. And once I heard his name, I'm just like,
Yep, established DC character. He's a real weirdo, Flash villain. Wally is just like, oh, let's just die. Abracadabra's a big fake, and it's just stupid, and like he doesn't continue to not believe. And when they try to enter the tower, he is exposed as a non-believer.
Finally,
Yep.
After Artemis kept trying to be like, dude, you're lying, and Wally's like, of course I'm not.
Yeah, he's just being very weird. And Clarion and Abra, who have the old man Nelson.
Yeah, who has Nelson.
They take him into the tower after the Young Justice group discovers it. And eventually they're running around, falling through magic traps, falling through portals. Eventually they manage to get the Cane into the same room as the old man, which he immediately grabs and flies away to.
To his secret elevator.
Yep. ...
And then, as they're going up, as Artemis and Wally are going up the elevator with Nelson, introduces himself and starts describing like, hey, that's Clarion. He's a Lord of Chaos. And Wally's just, eye-rolling this entire time because he doesn't believe. Then they get off the elevator to a giant bell where everyone meets, like Superboy and everyone, Clarion and Abracadabra. I still.
Hey man, he managed to beat them all. So.
Oh, this is true. And Wally and Nelson, who are followed by Clarion, go into the bell, which takes them to the top of the tower, where the Helmet of Fate is.
Yep. And of course, the old man, or Clarion, continues to be very bratty and silly and weird by beating them up with all of his crazy magic.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, coincidentally, Wally is left with Nelson, and he's the only one who's able to take up the helmet once Nelson apparently dies. And he's like, he has to believe in magic to do it. That's like a whole theme of the episode.
Right, yeah. I have to believe. Puts the helmet on and finds out that his body is taken over. Well, with all those who know, is taken over by a Lord of Order known as Nabu.
Yep.
And Wally can't do anything because Nabu owns his body now.
Yep, and Clarion starts going full Lord of Chaos demon mode and going crazy-faced monster looking. He starts attacking
If you want to call that crazy-faced monster looking.
He was a little bit weird, red-eyed and weird-faced looking.
Well, yeah.
Very, very tiny, but still. And of course, Dr. Fate, like a real jerk, attacks his cat, Tickle, who is his link to this world.
Right, he's like, no, I'll get you for this, and vanishes.
Of course. Abracadabra, in the meantime, had managed to defeat all the rest of the group himself.
Until he randomly loses all of his clothes.
Oh, yeah, his clothes just pop off because of Dr. Fate, I guess. It was a very weird choice.
Yeah. And then he's just like, ah, and then he gets defeated.
Yep, and the old man decides to stay in the helmet for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, he says that he's going to take it up, that Wally is not a believer, so he needs to take the helmet off. Mm-hmm. And Nabu, surprisingly enough, because he's usually adamant about not losing a body, is like, okay, fine.
It's fine.
And that's when we find out the souvenir of the day, which is the actual Mask of Fate.
Dr. Fate's helmet, which is just not being used, which is a huge waste of time.
Powerful thing. Yeah. And of course, we get some banter from Artemis and Kid Flash. And
he's like, no, that was all tank. It was just a dumb thing. And she's just like, you're insufferable. And it's just, then the helmet's like trying to ship Artemis and Flash together, but Flash just ignores it and goes to flirt with Megan.
Of course. And that's where we end that episode. Which, of course, of this block that we're talking about, again, best episode so far because it had my favorite DC villain.
Clarion the Witch Boy.
I like this version of him because he is an adult per se, but he's such a brat.
Yeah,
and,
he's very bratty.
And I mean, he's bratty, but he can actually back it up with his power.
Oh, he's very strong.
Oh my goodness, I love him so much because he's just a fun character. And now, segue into the final episode we're going to be covering today.
Yep.
Episode 8, Downtime.
This one I did like just because of a particular character that shows it, but we'll get there eventually.
Oh yeah.
Opens up on Gotham City with the entire team having been defeated by none other than Clayface. A very weird choice with this design that looked incredibly like the TAS version of
That's
him.
right, yeah. He was more that version. But, I mean, you know, when you have something good, I guess.
Yep, but all but Aqualad is down, and Aqualad's seriously about to lose when they are rescued by Batman, only to reveal that it was all a simulation.
Yep, just a simulation. Batman's like, I want to talk to Aqualad alone. Robin's like, oh, that's cool. So what are we? Just Aqualad.
Yeah, and he walks away real butthurt about it. Aqualad gets a stern talking to by Batman about not missing his old home life, and he's distracted if his heart's somewhere else and he can't concentrate on the team. And so he decides to go and visit Aquaman in Atlantis, and they are greeted with a very warm welcome.
Oh, very warm welcome indeed.
And then the first thing we see is him attending an underwater wizarding school.
Yeah, where it's actually revealed about not only is Aqualad looking for his two friends Garth and Tula, but it's also revealed how Aqualad became what he is.
Yep, that weird little squid boy has a whole weird mural about how they rescued Aquaman and were given either a chance to give the title of Aqualad, and that he decided, Kaldor decided to take it as opposed to Garth. Garth chose to stay
with his studies. Yeah. And from the Ocean Master, mind you, but...
Oh, yeah, you fought Ocean Master and lost, which is very confusing for later.
Yeah, that's...
Like, wait, I'm not too familiar with Aquaman stuff, but I do know a couple of things just from the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But after that bit of expedition, we actually do get to see Tula and Garth, who are training with Mara.
Yeah, Queen Mara, one of my favorite characters for a very, very brief window when she became a Red Lantern, and she was great.
That's right, you told me about that.
Yeah, that was the one window I actually cared about that character at all, and she was really cool then. But, like, it's obvious that Aqualad has a huge crush on Tula, and we see that Garth and her have some kind of secret that they have to worry about telling him.
Oh, I wonder what it could be.
Yep. Also, we discover it's been approximately 2 months since the beginning of the series.
Apparently.
Since he left.
Well, since he left.
Yeah.
Apparently it's been 2 months, and he's just like, oh, Tula, come to dinner with me. I would like you to come, Garth, and they're just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yep, and then we cut to an underwater Atlantis science lab where we meet Orm, who, if you know Aquaman, you know that's his brother, and in most traditional things, that's Ocean Master. So I thought this was an evil lab. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah, exactly.
Some sort of evil scheme. And there's some kind of large frozen starfish who, if you know DC, everyone's mind goes like, oh, that's Starro, which is a huge mind-controlling alien that's from space. But like anybody would be like, yeah, that's Starro, that's obvious, but we don't know yet. It's a mystery, so no one say anything.
Right.
And also, just a random background, really mega buff guard lady. I was just goof magoof.
Yeah, right.
Just
nobody goes in or out.
I was just like, damn, son. Distracted me from that scene.
At this moment, we get our first side note. There's going to be a lot of these, where we have a cute moment with Miss Martian and Superboy.
I was going to say, my note is, Superboy is watching TV static like a psycho.
Yeah, he is. And of course, like, Miss Martian's like, hey, you want me to turn that on? No.
Yeah, he just said no.
Want to help me with dinner? No. Gets up and proceeds to help her with dinner.
I said that was really cute. I was like, oh, that's funny.
It was an adorable moment. But
of course,
let's start going back to the plot for a moment.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say then we immediately get our hello Megan when she crashes all the stuff on top of Superboy.
Right. Oh. Right.
And I was like, oh, there it goes that's her thing for the episode. And then we immediately cut to a character that I like just from Injustice mostly and a bunch of other stuff.
I'll let you take over.
Everyone, a really cool moment when we meet Black Manta, who is attacking Atlantis in secret, taking out guards and implanting something. I'll say Black Manta. There's I can't remember which comic it is, if it's 52 or if it's Final Crisis, but like there's a scene where like Aquaman's back, and like the news is like, hey, Aquaman's back, and you just see this like black guy in a butcher shop, just like look at the TV, pick up a knife, murder every single person inside of the butcher shop, and just walk into the ocean. And he walks out in Black Manta's outfit, and it's just like, oh shit, that's serious business. He's great. He's really intimidating in that. But like he's still taking out people and doing something in the place. And then we cut to Robin training jealously or angrily, punching walls like a whoa.
Punching walls like, oh, he wants to talk to Aqualad, me.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, Alfred, in typical Alfred manner, saves the day by saying, "Hey, your dad wants to talk to you."
Your dad? Yeah, you mean Bruce?
Oh, it's like Master Wayne.
Yeah, of course.
But come on.
And then they have a nice father-son b-ball game.
Yeah, it was cute.
It's very, very cute, and that's the very polar opposite of how Superman treats Superboy really shittily.
Yeah, seriously. It's like Bruce Wayne is Batman, so he's always tough, but he knows how to be a dad, too, sometimes.
And then we have our next cutaway, which is the full Flash family. We have Barry Allen, we have Wally West, and we have Jay Garrett. All the Flashes, and we see that Jay's apparently around and apparently an active person, which is very, very curious about how the plot of it and how do they all know each other and what's going on with that. It's great. There's somebody's birthday, and Wally just eats a whole bucket of ice cream like a jerk.
You know whose birthday it was?
It was Jay Garrett's birthday. Yeah, but I'm saying it was like a weird meeting that like, it's that they all know each other.
Yeah, it's just a fun family get together kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very cute, and like we meet all of the Flash family and all the side characters and all their connections. That was wonderful.
And then going back to Atlantis, we're at the dinner party where not only Aqualad tells Tula, "Hey, I want to stay and study magic," and with Mira saying, "You do know you're gonna have to start from the beginning again because you kind of left."
Yeah, you haven't been here for a while.
But then the big reveal as to why the dinner was there.
The dinner was there to commemorate. What was it for?
You don't remember?
I already forgot. Oh no, yeah. They're having a baby.
Yeah, Mira's pregnant with child.
And Orm, who apparently is still a good guy, just like, hey, it's great.
Hey,
brother.
That's great. Mm-hmm.
Mild amount of tension when he kisses Mira from a weird little like look on his face. So like, but like that's about all we get.
Right.
And then did you say that he finds out Tula and Garth are dating?
That
immediately
comes
after
next. Yeah. Well, there's that.
Oh, yeah. I'll say right. Yeah.
Yeah. After the dinner, Aqualad and Kaldur and Tula are swimming together alone, and they both do that cute "I have something to say" at the same time. Kaldur's like, "Hey, I want to stay here with you," and Tula's just like, "Yeah, Garth and I are kind of dating, so." Yeah. And before Kaldur has anything to say, explosions as far as the eye can see.
Yep, Black Manta's attack has begun, and we see all of his weird subnautical men coming out and shooting all the guards very easily. We see some insane, crazy, cool magic from Mira and Tula.
Oh yeah,
some
indeed.
very, very cool stuff. She's like Mira's using all kinds of giant sea animals, and it's just great. Tula gets distracted by Garth about to get attacked and gets shot in the process.
Yeah, and so as Mira is protecting them, she's Orm's like, "I have to protect the queen," and the queen's like, "You're going."
Yeah, I can protect myself.
but Kaldur's like, no. Orm really does have to stay here. I'm going on my own. Garth's like, "Take me with you." He's like, really aggressively, just like, "No, you be with Tula."
Yep, and he flies off, and we find out that Black Manta is seemingly after Starro for some reason. the mysterious starfish.
Starro, this is where we get our final cut, I hope, where Artemis is working on her arrows, and her mom, who's wheelchair ridden, mind you,
like she's a paraplegic, you can assume.
She's in a wheelchair for some reason. Yeah. That's all I mean.
And they're watching TV, coincidentally, just before a show called Hello gets cut off. I was like, it was a classics channel telling you that it was an old show, whatever this mysterious thing was.
Because that's going to be important.
Oh, yeah.
But Artemis's mom comes over with an already open letter saying, "Hey, you got this in the mail." Artemis, obviously upset that she opened her mail, looks and says, "I got accepted to Gotham Academy." "Nah, I'm not going to do that." In which case, mom pulls up, "No, you need to, because this is going to give you the life I couldn't have." And starts getting all teary-eyed and stuff, and Artemis begrudgingly accepts.
Yep,
just for mom.
Fine, I'll attend, Mom. It'll be fine. Then cut back to Garth and Kaldur fighting Black Manta. Garth continues to be a huge jobber and getting embarrassed and beaten up frequently by Black Manta's team. And then, of course, Black Manta in a weird, crazy, out of character moment is just like, if I can't have it, no one can, and tries to destroy Starro.
I mean, and it happened, of course, after part of the ice broke, and you actually see the tentacle.
Arm came out.
He's just like, fine, I'm gonna destroy everything.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I thought like that's a weird fake reaction. Something's up with that. But yeah, he managed to destroy that. They managed to escape, and we see that Orm has a piece and shows that this is all we could manage to have.
And it's starting to regenerate.
Yep.
And he's like, but the science lab is destroyed. Where can we take it? Aqualad's like, I will. The surface can help.
Yeah, like, yeah, they'll figure something out. And then they find out that their next mission is going to be in Bialia, which I'm like, oh, snap. Because I know what importance that place has. In the comics, it is a made-up fictional Middle Eastern country near Kahndaq, which is where Black Adam rules. And then in 52, my favorite book that I'll never stop bringing up, Black Adam, something out of Bialia hurts Kahndaq, and he literally wipes out the entire country. Like, he destroys the entire country of Bialia.
Sounds about right.
And I'm like, god dang, Black Adam, you're insane and the best. And once again, the light is just like, this is all according to plan. And it's just like, Jesus, come on. Because still, how?
And that's where the episode ends.
That's the final episode. But with all... Oh, yeah. Regarding Garth and Kaldor, Garth is typically the main Aqualad. He's the primary person who is Aqualad in every series that there's ever been.
Oh,
and
so this one's, like, different.
Yeah, and that's why they had to say, like, hey, do you think if Kaldor asks him, if I had stayed and you had left to the Earth, do you ever think about that? And he's just like, no, I never do. Saying, like, hey, fans, we're never going to do Garth as Aqualad, so don't worry about it. But, like, yeah, he was the one in Teen Titans.
Oh, okay, so that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I thought that was Garth. But...
that's he's typically Aqualad in those things. That's why it's a weird thing to have this mysterious character, Kaldor, as the person. But speaking of original Teen Titans, do you remember those that show in those episodes of that, of course?
Original?
Teen Titans? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, favorite ep?
Favorite ep? Oof. Honestly, every single episode until he became like a brainwashed idiot with Slade. Because Slade is my favorite villain in Teen Titans.
How'd you not like that? All the great stuff with Trigun and Raven in him.
Well, no. I'm saying for Slade personally.
Yeah.
Before he became a brainwashed for what was it? Chargan. Trigun. Thank you. Before he became his brainwashed puppet, Slade was awesome, and I loved every episode with him.
Well, he was excellent.
And he was voiced by my favorite actor, Ron Perlman.
Of course.
Yeah. What about yours?
Let's see. It's probably the episode where Cyborg had to go undercover as Stone. I just love an undercover episode, and like a weird evil school or a superhero school thing. Mm-hmm. That was really fascinating to me. He had to go undercover in an evil superhero school as a villain, and he was just kicking butt and being awesome, and everyone hated him or liked him. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was a nice little change of pace.
Yeah, it was a cool episode. Just a nice one of very few Cyborg-centric episodes that wasn't about him being mechanical or whatever.
Yeah, but it was just about him actually doing something that didn't have the focus on him being half robot.
Yep, absolutely excellent. All right, you want to take us out?
Well, that has been our third episode?
Yeah,
third episode of Action Toon Bros. Hopefully you listen. Do you have any plugs?
Yep, I'll plug my Twitter, Matthew Lewis P. I still haven't tweeted anything, but I'm still waiting to post this. So, also Matthew Lewis Podcasts on YouTube, Matthew Lewis Podcasts on Patreon. My other podcast, Forgotten Minotaur King, hopefully will be up by now. So,
and I am still plugless at the moment. I'm considering making a Twitter, but other than that.
All right.
Well, and I hope you all enjoy your day, and hopefully you catch us in the next one.
Yep.
Keep it sleazy.
Keep it sleazy.